Transportation Committee.
You are chairman?
Yes.
So, what are the other projects are you working on? I know you have quite a bit of involvement. What else are you
Well, from a
involved with?
CID standpoint, we're working on the triple left lane on Windward. It's under construction now. So when you're going up Georgia 400 northbound and you take a left off of Windward going back towards Highway 9, right now it's a double left lane. It'll be a triple left lane, and we're going to add a lane in front of that Cracker Barrel all the way to West Side Parkway. So there'll be a new additional lane on that going towards Highway 9. And then when you get to West Side Parkway in Deerfield, we're going to add a double left lane going back towards Avalon. So that's about an $8.5 million project, but it really should increase mobility and decrease some congestion, especially at peak times.
So, Senator, you're also a candidate for the United States House of Representatives, and that election is coming up in May.
May 19th, yes.
Just out of curiosity, just from aside, by the way, what was your motivation in taking on that responsibility? It seems like you've got quite a bit right now going on in your plan.
Well, I do have a lot of responsibility, but I will tell you, I think that Georgia is a model. We have cut taxes, we've cut regulation, we've invested in our education and workforce development, and we've invested in our infrastructure. And one of the areas that Washington has truly failed us is an infrastructure investment. When we want to do a road project and we take federal dollars and try to use those federal dollars and draw down on them, there's anywhere from 22 steps or more that we have to jump through to use that money. And we've seen that several times, that it just adds years and years to the project on some of the bureaucratic steps you have to go through on building projects with federal money. The one example is when the feds get out of the way, we can get roads built. And when that bridge burnt down 2 years ago, we rebuilt that bridge in 43 days. Secretary Chow and President Trump called Governor Deal and said, look, there'll be no regulations, no studies, just get the bridge reopened, $10 million coming your way. And GDOT got it built within 43 days. It was unheard of. Matter of fact, it was so unheard of, I had a call from a constituent asking me if that bridge was safe. And I said, what do you mean, ma'am? She said, well, it was built so fast. And I said, ma'am, that bridge has been inspected, and re-inspected. It's probably the safest bridge in America because it's been, re-inspected so many times. But what's happened, Lou, we've conditioned the citizens that it takes 2 to 5 years to build a bridge. And I'm not saying we can build every project in 43 days, but we can expedite the process. And I want to go to Washington, cut that regulation out, drive that money back to the states for capital construction projects only, and get orange barrels and shovels in the dirt a lot quicker than it is right now. Because you got to think about this. I want you to think about this. In 2050, we got another 2.9 million people coming to Georgia, to the metro area. A lot of that's the metro area. And I'm going to tell you, if we don't do something about our infrastructure, we're not going to be able to get from point A to point B very easily.
Senator, you have been active in community involvement for quite a while. You were president of the North Fulton Chamber of Commerce. When did you start with that?
Well, I got involved in the community years ago, but not, and I tell people all the time, you don't have to be elected to be involved in this community. You don't have to hold an elected office. I chaired a bond referendum to build Webbridge Park and the new police station in Alpharetta back in '94, I think it was '94. And then I got elected to, I got nominated and appointed to the Planning Commission in '96, and then got elected to City Council in '99. So I did a lot of volunteer work before I got elected. And then I've been on City Council, then I did 2 terms on the DOT board, and now 4 terms in the state Senate. But it's all about serving others in public service. And that's why I do what I do. I want to make a difference for our community. Jan Jones and I, for example, were able to get $25 million in the budget a couple years ago to build a new technical college across from Avalon called Gwinnett Tech. And when I drive by there and I see the parking lot full and I see kids going in there to get certifications and get educated for jobs that are good paying high jobs, $75,000, $85,000 jobs to get certified in some kind of healthcare job or manufacturing, high-tech manufacturing or high-tech jobs. That's why I do what I do, and that's why I think we all need to be involved in making sure we have the workforce That's the number one reason companies relocate to an area. And I go back to when I was president of the Chamber of Commerce 16 years ago. The CEO would make the decision on where to locate his or her company based on where they want to live. So if they wanted to live in Sugarloaf, they went to Gwinnett. If they wanted to live in Alpharetta, they went to Windward Parkway and so on. You follow me? You fast forward to today, that CEO is still making the decision on where to locate his or her company 16 years later, but it's based on one thing: where's the talent? Talent is driving the CEO's decision. And I think one of the best examples of that is over in Gwinnett County. 14 years ago, NCR moved from Dayton, Ohio to Gwinnett. And if you would have told the Gwinnett Chamber CEO that they would turn around and move across the street from Georgia Tech, where they built that beautiful new building, he would have said that will never happen. But it did, and the reason it happened was because the CEO of NCR will tell you they wanted to pull that talent out of Georgia Tech right across the street, and they wanted to make sure they got the best and brightest out of Tech. And those kids want to live down there. They want to live on the Beltline and Ponce City Market and so on. So that's talent is dictating what we're doing. So it's vital that we not only invest in our infrastructure, but we invest in our education and really workforce development and making sure we have a trained workforce.